Good evening, good evening.
Hello.
Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Tuesday Talks with the Conways,
I'm Courtney.
and I'm Chris. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We'll give everyone a chance to join, and we did try to start right on time. I think the countdown ended right at 7:30. We didn't have any technical difficulties this week, thankfully.
But now that he said that next week, it's going to be full of them. So,
No. Speaking positive stuff into our lives. Hello, Verdina. Good evening. How are you? I'm so glad to have you here. Any of our other regulars, or if you're new here, feel free to comment and let us know where you're watching from. And we're sitting on computer chairs with wheels, and so
yeah, they're like,
moving a little bit.
yeah.
But yes, thank you so much for joining us. We have a really good topic that I think that will be very, very helpful. Also as a reminder to ourselves,
Yeah.
because we're definitely prone to this as well. And I'm hoping that our conversation tonight will have meaningful impact on everyone else as well. So this podcast is going to be recorded. Hi, Shelley. So you can watch the past recordings on YouTube. You can also do audio podcasts on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Yes. And one fun thing that we found out this week, all of our recipes are going to be on is it Healthy's blog? Their
Yeah, the
website?
Healthiest website. Yeah.
Yes, because last week some people were asking where to find like past recipes and they're just scattered throughout Healthy's Facebook page, but now they're on their website.
So if you go to the Healthy website and then go to recipes, there'll be our recipes along with the other coaches on there. But it'll say,
and I'm not sure, you may be able to like search by coach, and if you can look for one of
yes,
us.
absolutely. So you should be able to see those. So that will be quite helpful if you want to look at any of our past recipes that we've done. Or if you want to go back and let us know which ones you've made, or which looks good. But we're also looking for good other suggestions. If you have any other recipes that you'd like Courtney to try to make it more healthy, she loves that. Hi, Joy. Welcome back.
Hello, Joy. We've missed you.
Yes, Joy has been a little bit busy this past couple of weeks and has not been able to join us live, but we're really glad to have Joy watching with us live again. All right. So if you want to go ahead and just introduce our topic this
Yes.
week.
Tonight we're talking about the road ahead, not looking back. Not just in health journeys, but in a lot of things in life, we tend to look at the past with regret. And tonight we don't want to talk about not having regret and just pushing forward and doing what we can now instead of focusing on what happened in the past.
Yes, this topic was kind of born of just a thought process. I don't even know if it was any one process, but multiple things that was popping up in my mind. As we're continuing in this journey, we're seeing evidence of our weight loss, and not just positive evidence, but other evidence as well. I'm not going to say negative, but other evidence as well. And looking back at the past with retrospect can be helpful sometimes, but if you hover over it a little bit too much and focus too much on what could have been, what you could have, should have, but didn't do, type of thing is not really healthy. Because I was thinking, goodness gracious, at the end of this, I'm going to have so much loose skin, and we may or may not be able to afford the surgery, and we may not want to have the surgery.
There's a lot on your body.
The skin removal surgery is not for everyone. And I just was thinking, man, if I had just made these choices earlier on in my life, I could have saved a lot of these hassles, a lot of these headaches. I could save my future Chris, and we could have saved future Courtney the pain of going through this and the extra skin and trying to overcome all that. But that got me thinking that the past is the past, and it's a tool. We can use it to help see how far we've come. But that's basically the extent of what the past should be. You should remember, and you should see how far you've come, but you shouldn't dwell on it. It's definitely not going to be very healthy for you, and that's hard. Even for us talking about this, to remember that we have to remind ourselves that constantly, because I say this tonight, but then tomorrow I might be frustrated with my path and well, I should have done 10 years ago,
Mhm.
and it's just not healthy.
Yes, and the thing is, like, you can't go back and change what happened in the past. You can't really control it anymore, but you can control the now. I mean, not everything, but there are certain things you can control. You can control your choices. You can control the things you eat now. You can't go back and re-control those things. Like, yes, you did have a choice, but you can't go back and change it. So focusing on that is not going to change anything.
Mhm.
So we really need to try to focus on what we can do now to fix it now, and just improve things going forward.
Because there's a saying that hindsight is 2020, and
Mhm.
that's 100% true. If we all knew what we know now, going back, we would of course do things differently, but we can't. And so there's no use in dwelling on those.
Yes, but some things that we can do. Sorry, I was reading a comment.
So, somebody mentioned, I'm assuming either Wayne or Crystal says, what do you recommend for those that are in the process of losing weight and then will have extra skin? So that's definitely going to be an interesting topic. It varies person by person. It depends on how much excess skin there is. Um, not skin removal surgery is not for everyone. It's not an easy task. Also, it's not always covered by insurance. It really all just depends on your personal preference. I don't know if that's going to be our journey. I mean, it really kind of all depends on how much there ends up being, and if our insurance can cover it. But even then, that still seems to be kind of a difficult surgery to go through. So I'm not 100% sure. It really all depends on your
Mhm.
preference. Do you have any insight on this?
No, but as far as those
Crystal.
that will have extra skin, look at that extra skin as a battle wound. If you can't have surgery or just don't want to, it's a battle wound. It shows how far you have come,
Hmm.
and wear it with pride. I know there are certain ways that people can dress to kind of hide it, as far as like tummy, loose skin and stuff. I mean, high rise jeans, like things. I mean, there are things that can hide it,
Hmm.
but definitely wear it as a battle wound and wear it with confidence and wear it with pride, because you lost a lot of weight to get that. I mean, extra skin doesn't come by just losing 5 pounds. You
Hmm.
lost a lot of weight. You put in a lot of work to lose the weight and to have that extra skin.
Hmm.
And while some people just don't like the way it looks, wear it with pride because you did something great to achieve that.
And there are some things that you can do to help minimize that, like Joy mentioned, strength training. Strength training can help. It's not going to tighten up the skin completely, but if you replace those fat with some muscles, that will help fill out the excess
Yes.
skin a little bit. So that
And
will help a little bit.
And I did hear someone say once that muscle takes up more room than fat.
Mhm.
So while you might still have some loose skin, if you do build some muscle there, it will take up more room than that fat did, and it will help. It
Mhm.
will help
There still
pretty
will
decent
probably
amount.
be some saggy,
Mhm.
some loose skin, and that's to be expected. It just really all depends. Like I said, we're not sure how much we're going to have because we're
Yeah, we,
not.
we already have some.
Yeah,
Like my arms, y'all. But I still wear sleeveless clothes because I'm like, it's just there. It's just there.
absolutely. And as Joy also mentions, one of that muscle burns fat, and that's one of the whole reasons why we're big
Mhm.
proponents to strength training. So
Yes.
that's also going to be very very important too.
Yes,
So
because the more muscle you have, the more fat you're gonna burn.
absolutely. So it helps in your weight loss journey too, but it will also help minimize some of the impacts of the extra skin. But there also might just be a certain point where you have to have it removed, whether it's covered by the insurance or it's optional. We have
Mhm.
a close friend of our family that went through a extensive weight loss and did have the skin removal surgery. I'm not sure whether her insurance covered it or not. But it was a really important step for her to take, and it was important for her. So really, all just depends on where you
Mhm.
are in your journey. I might be able to be satisfied and happy without having that. It's just really all depends.
Yes. But with that being said, with looking forward and not back, there
Mhm.
are some things you can do in the present now to help with the regret and things from things in the past. One thing is you can make sure to set a goal. Make them achievable. You can do long term, but also do short term, do smaller and bigger goals.
Mhm.
That way you have somewhere to celebrate a long line. If you just say, I want to lose 150 pounds and have no goals in between, that goal is going to seem so far away.
Mhm.
But if you say, I want to lose 150 pounds, but my first goal is going to be to just lose 10.
Mhm.
Um, or if your long term goal is only 20 pounds, make that first goal 5 pounds and just have places to celebrate in between. And that way you can focus more on the present and the future instead of the past.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm really bad about being like, I still have X amount of weight to lose. And then I get really frustrated with my past because I'm like, if my past, if I would have done better eating, if I would have exercised, I wouldn't have gotten to this place.
Mhm.
But with that being said, if you make those goals, it does help kind of keep your mind off of that and focus on, okay, I'm gonna lose this 5 pounds. Once you lose that 5 pounds, you're gonna celebrate where you are now and not where you were in your past.
Mm. And then when we talk about past, it's not just like like a
Mm-hmm.
long-term past, because we didn't get here where we're at all in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm meaning our starting weight. We didn't get there all at once. There's also the kind of regret where we lost 75, 80 pounds, and then we kind of were stagnant for almost 2 years. And then there's also the part of me just like, if we had not gotten stagnant and we had not
Yep.
hit that
I think that
plateau,
all the time.
we think of how much farther we would be,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not really all that conducive either. So the things that you can do to help keep that mindset off is keep yourself busy and present with your current health goals. It doesn't really matter what happened 30 days ago, 2 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, um,
Or even one day ago.
or even one day ago, because there are some decisions yesterday that I might be should probably contemplate, but it's best not to. But keep yourself busy and present with your current health goals. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday, 2 years ago, 15 years ago. All that matters is the steps you're taking to not go back there, and then the steps that you're taking to keep moving forward as well is going to be the biggest thing that I can
Mm-hmm.
say to help you keep your mind off of the past in a negative way.
Yes, because like Chris said, the past is not always a year ago, 10 years ago. It could just be yesterday. Yesterday, you could have had a really bad day. You could have binged and you could be really upset about that today. But try not to focus on it. Focus on what you can do today. Make today binge free. Make today a day where you make better choices. Like, because sometimes we just don't make good choices. And that's just part of having, of being human.
Hmm.
So yeah, focus on today and not even just yesterday. If yesterday was a bad day, we're still rooting you on today and you can still do incredible today, even an hour ago. If
Hmm.
you had a binge an hour ago, focus on the now instead of what happened an hour ago.
Absolutely. And another really good thing that you can do is to remember your why. We love revisiting our whys, and our whys will sometimes change periodically throughout our journey. But remembering your why will definitely be a big motivating factor. Like for us, being healthy for each other, for our daughter, for our future child that we want to have. Um, Helps us to not look back
Mhm.
too much in retrospect, and it helps keep us from getting discouraged, because it can be discouraging when you look at the past, but look forward to the future.
Yes, because giving yourself a why, it gives you something to focus on now. My why is this now.
Mhm.
Like you said, our why is our daughter, each other, myself. I want to be healthy to feel good. Like I
Mhm.
love the way I feel when I'm eating right, when I'm
Mhm.
exercising. I love the way I feel. So if you have a why, you're focusing more on that instead of things
Mhm.
that you regret from the past.
Absolutely. And it's also important to use the whys and then the past in smart ways to measure your current success. I used to hate looking back at photos of myself in the past when I was at my highest weight. Um, but if you look at those in comparison to where you are now, I mean, it definitely is going to be a big help. But I've also, um, I've said this multiple times in multiple podcasts. You've got to love yourself in your current state before you can love yourself in
Hmm.
your future state. That also goes for loving your past state. So the 455-pound Chris, I need to have as much love for him as I do for the 345-pound Chris that's currently existing. So I can also love the future Chris that's 270 pounds. It's really important for the self esteem to love yourself in all your states and learn to love your previous states, even though that's not who you are anymore.
Yes, and with that, for like leaving the past behind and focusing on the future and the now does not mean completely forgetting
Mm,
about the past because you have to remember where you came from. You have to remember like Chris said, 400 and something pounds. Like I at my highest, I was 390. Well, technically when I had my daughter, I was 415, but I don't count that, you know.
yep.
There was like 25 pounds of child and stuff there. So, anyways, um, the point is I remember 390-pound Courtney, and I remember how she felt. I remember how lousy I felt every day because I was so overweight. I remember how I felt because I was not eating right. I remember how I felt because I was not active. I remember that.
Mhm.
And I do not regret it, but I do remember it
Mhm.
because I don't want to go back there
Yeah.
ever. Um, Me now, even if I never get to my goal weight, I feel incredible. I feel better than I did at 390 pounds. And I want to remember that. I want to remember that I did feel that way, but I don't want to regret it. And the whole point
Mhm.
of this is not forgetting the past completely,
You
but
don't wanna make
not
the same
focusing on
mistakes.
it,
Yeah.
not regretting it, and giving yourself some grace.
And some of the ways you can do that is making sure that you have your accountability partners, whether your accountability partner is your partner, a best friend, a coworker, um, making sure you have that accountability partner and check in with them. Because if you don't live with your accountability partner,
Mhm.
you might forget that they're living life and they're struggling, and then you're struggling. So make sure that you reach out and check in with your accountability partners to see how they're doing, so they can also see how you're doing.
Yes, and one thing with an accountability partner, which we had a whole topic on accountability partners, make sure it's somebody that's going to give you that tough love because sometimes somebody just needs to be like, look, remember a week ago when you felt crappy because you ate this, 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 and this? Well, don't do that now because you're going to feel crappy again. Or it might even need to be somebody that's going to be like, look, you've put on some weight and I know you're trying to lose it. Like somebody that's gonna give you the hard
Hmm.
truth. He's gonna give me the hard truth whether I want it or not. He knows better than to it sometimes, but he's gonna like when push comes to shove, he's going to give me the hard truth and be like, look, Courtney, you don't need that. Or you don't need to do that. Or you need to get your booty off the couch and go to the gym. Like he's gonna be tough when he has to be. And make sure your accountability partner is not someone that's scared to tell you the truth because
Hmm.
then it's kind of pointless for them to be your accountability partner.
But most of the time, my tough love is also beneficial to me. So I don't
Mhm.
say get off the couch. I say let's go on a walk. So
Yeah.
we're both being active. Also, being a good accountability partner can be to um, not to say don't let's not have that, but picking better choices for
Mhm.
myself or for the family so that we can all have a better and healthier meal too. So find the accountability partner that can also make those smart and wise choices in a way that is important and meaningful for you without making you feel like crap.
Mhm. Yes. And also, be careful how you talk about your past,
Hmm.
especially around people. Like if you have children,
Hmm.
I don't want to be talking about past Courtney awful because the thing
Hmm.
is, 390-pound Courtney was my daughter's mom.
Hmm.
Like I still was her mom at 390 pounds. Like she was 6 months old when I really started my health journey. And I don't want her to hear me talking about her mother
Hmm.
that way. Like she gets mad. But I don't want her to hear me talking negatively about myself, even if it's a past self,
Hmm.
because she doesn't know how to differentiate the two.
Yeah.
She just knows that's my mom and you're talking about my mom. Like you're talking about yourself. So I'm going to go talk about myself too. Children pick up on those things. So be careful how you're talking about your past around like your children or just people that love you in general, because sometimes they pick up on that and they're either one, they're going to be really mad at you, or like for children, they might pick up on that language too and talk that way about themselves too.
Mhm. That's why it's really important for us to use positive language. Like when we get on the scale, we tell her that
Mhm,
we're checking to see how strong we are, and technically we are. We have a scale that measures
mhm.
muscle mass, so it's not wrong. So we tell our daughter we're checking to see how strong we are, how healthy we are, versus to see how heavy we are. So when she gets on the scale, like, wow, you're really strong. So to build that kind of positive connotation with checking to see where your weight is.
Yes, we also try, which sometimes I'm really bad about not doing this, but we try to not have a negative reaction if we are up. Like we try to get on the scale if she's in the room and just look at it, and that's
Mhm.
that. I will say sometimes I forget and I was like, oh man, like we do not want her to have any negative kind of connotation with scale whatsoever.
But it's also good for us to, even
Hmm.
when it's not for a little one. Not everyone has little ones around. Whether your little ones are grown, you don't have any little ones yet, or you're not going to have any little ones. But it's also just good for yourself to look at that scale. Okay, if it's where I want it to be at, great. If it's not, what can I do to kind of get there? So that more positive thinking will help you and not having be stuck in that rut, because having those negative thoughts and those regrets and it can spiral and allow you to get to a place where it's going to be hard to get out of.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another thing you can do to kind of help to not focus on the past, I think we mentioned it a little bit before, is reward yourselves when you make a goal.
Hmm.
Like we said, that can be a big goal, that can be a small goal. Whatever you want your goal to be, if you just want to go get yourself a coffee for every single pound you lose, you do it. Like whatever goal you want to set.
Or a
Like
new tumbler.
I mean, I don't buy a tumbler with every pound. It's
Not
like
every
every
pound,
10 or 20, whatever.
which is why you have a lot of cups.
I do have a lot of cups. I definitely have more than the 10 I should have if I bought one with every 10 pounds, but maybe I have bought one with every pound. Um
Yes, and Joy mentions do not let the scale define who you are. You are beautiful. No matter whether the scale is where you want it to be at, if it's moving in the right direction, you're still amazing just the way you are.
mhm.
So don't let that discourage you.
And the thing is, whether you want to, whether you feel this way or not, you were amazing back then too.
Oh yeah.
You were beautiful back then. You were beautiful. I don't, however much you've lost, you were amazing. You were beautiful. You were capable. Obviously, you were capable if you have lost weight. And even if you haven't, even if you've been on this thing for 10 years and you're just like, I can't lose a single pound, trying is better than nothing.
Oh yes.
You trying is better than nothing. And you are seen, and past you is beautiful, present you is beautiful, capable, strong, all the good things. So don't look on that past with regret.
Yeah.
Because it's made you who you
Mhm.
are now.
Yeah. And then also you've touched base on this earlier, and I've said this in the past. Um, I just completely lost my train of thought. I have no idea what I was going to say. Um, yes, I have no idea what I was going to say. But it was a good comment.
But yes, but like I said, um past you has made you who you are now, and that is something to be celebrated and not regretful.
Absolutely. Enjoy. Start every day with positive affirmations. Whether that's on your phone, you can put it on your lock screen on your phone's sticky notes.
Mhm.
I sometimes like to leave Courtney notes when I'm packing her lunches.
Haven't
Just
done that in a while.
yeah, so sad.
That's okay.
But definitely, those positive affirmations are really really helpful to help keep you going.
Yes. And with what I said earlier about how past you was capable, strong, remind yourself of that too, that like the past was not something to be regretted. It's something to keep in my mind so I do not make the same mistakes, but to also remember that I was still incredible then, just like I'm incredible now.
Absolutely. And on that note, let's see. Somebody mentions she's amazed how many recipes and foods will help us. Quest protein chips and bars, it really helps. Yes, Quest protein chips. We really, really love
Yes,
those.
I had some today.
They were on sale at Kroger this past weekend, so we got a whole bunch of them. There was also what are those chicken ones?
Wild.
Wild, not quite as protein packed, but they're made out of chicken.
They're made out of chicken, and the buffalo ones straight up taste like buffalo chicken.
And what we did was we took some cottage cheese and a little bit of French onion dip and mixed it together and dipped the buffalo chicken, and it was so good.
Joy says shame on you.
Yes, healthy recipes were not always easy.
Yeah, you can find them anywhere now, but yeah, in the past,
Yeah,
no.
it's hard to access. And now, starting this week, all of the recipes we've shared are on the Healthy app
I
as
was
well
actually
too.
going to
So
remind you guys of that again, even though we already mentioned it.
yes. So on that note, let's talk about the recipe for this week.
Yes, and like I mentioned last week we talked about just busy lifestyles. This month, at least, if not longer, I'm trying to figure out some like dump and go crock pot meals where you put it in the morning and at night dinner's practically ready. There might be a couple things you have to do to it once you get home, but it's not going to be like in a kitchen for an hour. So
And Crystal, I'll let Courtney answer.
I do. Crystal asked if I put cottage cheese in salad. I do. I blend it up, and add it to the dressing, and it helps stretch the dressing and gives me more protein.
We put cottage cheese in almost everything.
Mhm.
Sometimes we blend it up depending
Yes,
on the
if I don't
consistency.
have a blender, like if I'm at a restaurant or something, I just throw it in there.
Like if we go
But
to a buffet that has a
yeah,
salad bar, we will put cottage cheese on our salad to help add some extra protein and make it more filling.
yes,
So yes, we love cottage cheese. We're big fans. All right, now on to our recipe for this
yes,
week.
yes. But like I said, I'm trying to give you guys some dump and go. I just
Mhm.
saw a typo. Whoops. Some dump and go things for busy lifestyles. So this is Fiesta chicken. A pound of boneless, skinless chicken breast. I've mentioned this before. I always say a pound, but you can literally add as much or as little as you want. It is whatever you want. 3 tablespoons, which is equal to a packet of taco seasoning, a can of whole kernel corn, a can of black beans, mild chunky salsa, any salsa you want,
By
really.
Joy.
By Joy. Um, 4 ounces of reduced fat cream cheese. That is half of a block. You can also use fat free, but that's not as easy to find. But add the chicken to the crock pot and top with the packet of taco seasoning and a cup of salsa. Drain and rinse the corn and black beans and add that on top. Cook on low for 6 to 8 hours, high for 3 to 4 hours. Take out the chicken and shred it. And once it's cooked through, add it back in and mix everything together. Um, I put cut up cream cheese, but I'm trying to make this as few steps as possible. You can add the whole block in. It'll just take longer to melt. But cut up the cream cheese and add it on top of the chicken mixture and cook for about 30-ish minutes longer. Or basically until the cheese is melty and delicious. Stir it all together. It's ready to go. We usually serve ours over rice. You can serve it in a taco. You can eat it by itself. It is sadly not. It sounds like it might be low carb, but it's not because of the corn
And
and
the
the black
beans.
beans.
Yeah.
I didn't remember it being that much carbs though. I think it was though, because I think when I finished putting the recipe in, I was like, whoa, that's more carbs than I expected.
But a lot of protein.
But yeah, tons of protein. This is between 4 and 12 bites. So it's not the lowest bites, but it's pretty high in protein. 4 and 12 bites, depending on your plan. 448 calories, 33 net carbs, and 46.3 grams of protein.
A lot of protein.
Yep.
Yes, and Neri on Instagram mentions they're having bariatric surgery and need help with recipes. Recipes are your friend, regardless of whether you're having surgery.
Yes.
But when you're having surgery or you're on a GLP-1, having those recipes that give you the more important nutrients, like the protein, is definitely going to be very important. So happy to share.
My best friend had bariatric surgery, so I will also get with her and see what some of her favorite bariatric friendly recipes are, and I will get back to you.
All right. Is that all on the recipe?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. We're so glad to have you all with us, as we will be back the same time next week.
Yes. And like we mentioned before, if you have any topics you want us to talk about or any recipes you want us to helpify or any that you're just like, hey, I saw this recipe, you should try it, let me know.
We love recipes being shared with us too.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.